Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a good day, and I actually have a few announcements to make, and other than that, let's get right on with the video. So we actually have an intro now, so that's a good thing. It's made by the same person, Zerf, big shout out to him. And now let's talk about what this what if is. This what if's dedicated to season 4 of Attack on Titan. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, and now let's talk about my Discord. For the people who join my Discord, just know I don't support offensive crap. Like, bro, you guys know who you are, who I kicked. Like, no one wants to hear that crap. If you're gonna do that, just leave, okay? I don't wanna see it. And other than that, guys, all my announcements are done, and let's get right on with the video.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through eyes covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
So we start off our what if with Deku standing between the kid that Kacchan was bullying. As Kacchan tells Izuku to move, but Izuku, with all of his courage, tells Kacchan no. As Kacchan gets annoyed by this, he punches Izuku straight in the face, as Izuku falls to the ground with blood coming out of his mouth. But then, electricity started to spark around Izuku, as immediately Izuku turned into a Titan. As Izuku is around half the length of the regular Attack Titan. Now Izuku is just destroying everything around him, as Izuku has no control because he's still a child, as the kid behind him ran away as quickly as possible. As Izuku was rampaging, he sees Kacchan and stomps on Kacchan, breaking both of his legs. As Izuku picks up Kacchan by the arms and is about to open his mouth and eat him. But then, out of nowhere, All Might comes in and punches Izuku straight in the face, as Izuku falls to the ground unconscious. As All Might says, "I'm here," as he picks Kacchan up from Izuku's hands, as Izuku transforms back into his regular human form. As All Might sees this, he realizes that wasn't a villain, and it was actually just a kid, and it must have just been his quirk. As All Might puts Bakugo in a stretcher and goes back to Izuku. As Izuku wakes up, he sees that All Might is there as he starts fanboying out. But then he notices all the rubble and asks All Might what was going on. As All Might couldn't answer Izuku, as All Might asks Izuku his own question, asking Izuku where his parents were. As Izuku takes All Might to his parents' house, or Inko's house. As Inko opens the door, she sees All Might and asks All Might what's going on, as All Might starts to explain privately without Izuku knowing. Inko was just confused and surprised that this happened, as Inko starts to explain to All Might, telling him that they went to the quirk doctor and they classified Izuku as quirkless. As All Might sighs and tells Inko that they need to go somewhere right now. As Inko nods, trusting All Might, she tells Izuku to come with them. As Izuku comes with All Might and Inko as they get to the UA gates. As they all walk in, Izuku sees all these buildings and all these structures, as Izuku's just mesmerized and amazed by all the things there, as he asks his mom what this place is. As All Might interrupts, telling Izuku this is the place where people come to learn to become amazing heroes, as Izuku is just amazed by this. As they all start walking into a building, All Might tells them to follow them. As they walk into a room, Recover Girl is healing a girl who is explaining how she beat someone up in the sports festival. As All Might calls over Recover Girl sees All Might and starts talking to him. As All Might starts to explain the situation, then Recover Girl interrupts, asking All Might if he wants her to examine Izuku. As All Might nods, saying that would be very helpful. As Recover Girl was examining Izuku, she realizes that Izuku's quirk is very similar to the girl that she was just examining. As Recover Girl finishes her analysis, she starts to explain Izuku's quirk, telling everyone that his quirk is called Titan, and that he can basically grow into a huge beast or a huge man-like figure, and he has some special abilities when he grows into a Titan, but they don't know what it is. But when Izuku hears this, he gets so happy that he jumps out of his chair and starts cheering. As Izuku starts looking around and sees that everyone is still pretty sad. As Izuku asks his mom what was going on. As Inko was about to explain it, All Might stops her and starts to explain what happened with Izuku and how he injured Kacchan. As Izuku's eyes widen, hearing All Might say this, as he runs out of the room crying. As Izuku ran all the way to the end of the hallway and crawled up into the ball and started crying. As All Might walks to the room and sighs, as he starts walking to the end of the hallway as he sits down next to Izuku. As he asks Izuku if he's okay, as he told him that accidents happen and it's gonna be fine. Then, Izuku asked All Might a question, asking him if he thinks that he's a villain. As All Might is shocked that Izuku asked him this question. As All Might tells Izuku that he's not a villain, and that it was just his quirk, and he doesn't have to worry, because if he trains his quirk, he can become an amazing hero, and that he can save people. As Izuku jumps up into the air, telling All Might that he's gonna become the greatest hero that he can possibly become to redeem his actions. As All Might puts out his fist for a fist bump. As Izuku fist bumps All Might, yelling plus ultra. As All Might laughs and takes Izuku back to the room. As Inko sees Izuku and hugs him, telling him that it's okay, as All Might tells his mom that he knows and that he's gonna train himself to become the best hero. As then Izuku looked confused and asked his mom where he's gonna train. As Principal Nezu walks in and tells Izuku that he's welcome to train here. As Izuku starts cheering, he looks at his mom and sees that his mom's pretty hesitant. As he starts begging his mom, asking them if they can please stay here. As he starts begging his mom sighs, relenting, telling Izuku that they can stay here, but they still don't have a place to stay. As Principal Nezu says that it's alright and they can build a house here on UA campus, as Izuku trains. As Inko starts thanking Principal Nezu, as Principal Nezu said that it's alright. As Izuku gets so excited, he jumps up into the air. For a few months, Izuku's on UA campus as he's unable to activate his quirk for a long time. As all of a sudden, one day, Izuku gets a knock on the door as Inko opens it. As a girl introduces herself, telling them that her name is Yua Tokuyama. I'm sorry if I butchered the name, my bad, okay? Then she starts to explain, telling them that she's here so she can train Izuku because Izuku and her have a pretty similar quirk and that she can help Izuku control his quirk. So Izuku's been trained by this person for a few years and you're probably wondering what their hero name is. As one day, Izuku's been training with her as she tells Izuku to call her Mount Lady. That's right, I'm making him train with Mount Lady. So Izuku's been training with Mount Lady and he's able to get a better grasp of his quirk as he's able to activate it and turn it off. But he's unable to to completely control it. He's able to control it a slight bit, but not that much. As Izuku has been training with Mount Lady for around 3 years as Mount Lady graduates and has to become a hero. Now, Izuku's been trained by the UA staff, so Izuku's gotten a full control of the Titan. As Izuku one day, he's able to make an armament on his fists, as he realizes he can make this anywhere. As Izuku transforms back into his human form, he feels like he can do it in his regular form as well. As he does it, he feels this Titan's power flowing through him, even when he's in his human form, as Izuku's wondering what was going on. Yes, this is the special power I'm gonna give Izuku, because he's not gonna have that much power, so it's gonna be like Frieza's suppressing force, but he still has the Titan shifting powers. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen right now. So basically what's gonna happen here is whenever he's using his armament, he basically gets the Titan power wherever he puts his armament on. If he puts it all over his body, he gets the whole Titan power all flowing through his body. So whenever he puts his armament on his knuckles, all the force and the power that he gets from his regular Titan form, he's able to use it in his regular human form. That would be really cool. That's why I'm gonna do it. So now we're gonna time skip to the start of the anime. So as Izuku's in class, because he's in UA and the teachers there are teaching him. So he's in class one day as the teachers ask him if he's gonna be going to UA, as he's not officially in UA. As Izuku thinks and tells them that he's gonna be going to UA no matter what. As the teachers laugh, Principal Nezu walks in telling Izuku that he's not gonna be getting any recommendations from anyone else. As Izuku wonders what he means. as Principal Nezu starts to explain, telling him that he's gonna have to take the regular exam just like everyone else. As Izuku nods his head, telling Principal Nezu that he wouldn't have it any other way. That same day, as Izuku's classes end, Izuku felt like he wanted to go check the place where he finally activated his quirk. As Izuku got to the playground, he sat on a swing and started to reimagine the events that happened there, as he sees himself as a titan, engulfing everyone else in his shadow, as he starts breaking Kachan's leg and is about to eat him. As Izuku felt uneasy, he got up and started walking away. As he walked under a bridge, as the sludge villain popped out of the drain, about to attack Izuku, as Izuku immediately dodged this as he started attacking the sludge villain, as he encased his knuckles with armament, as he punched the sludge villain right in the face, as the sludge villain blew back, splattering everywhere. But then, as Izuku did this, he got flashbacks in how he broke Kachan's legs, and he said never again as Izuku fell to the ground. But then, All Might came out of nowhere and saw that Izuku was on the ground. As immediately as he saw this, he immediately picked up 2 bottles and started filling it with the sludge monster. As he was carrying this, he started slapping Izuku as Izuku woke up and saw All Might. As he started fanboying out a bit and asked All Might what he was doing here. As All Might started to explain to Izuku that he was here to get the sludge villain and that he thanks Izuku for getting it. As All Might realizes that his timer was running out, as he didn't tell Izuku about this. As he jumps up into the air, Izuku grabs onto All Might's leg. As All Might realizes this, he lands on the nearest rooftop and starts yelling at Izuku even more aggressively this time. But then, Izuku asks All Might the question. He asks All Might if he really thinks, can a villain really become a hero? As All Might looks at Izuku and tells Izuku that even the worst villains can get redemption, and that they can become a good hero if they just redeem themselves. As Izuku looks up into the air and tells All Might that he will find any way to redeem himself. As All Might chuckles and tells Izuku that he can do it. But then, before anything else could happen, All Might poofs as he turns into a skinny form. As Izuku looks at All Might and wonders what just happened as he asks All Might what was going on. As All Might starts to explain to him, telling him about his injury. As Izuku asks All Might how he can help, as All Might says that there's no way that anyone can help. But then, before All Might could continue, there was a loud explosion a few blocks away. Before All Might could even react, Izuku already jumped off the building and was running toward it. As Izuku got there, he sees that it's the sludge monster. As Izuku slaps his head, realizing that whenever he must have grabbed onto All Might, the sludge monster must have fallen out somehow. As Izuku started thinking of ways that he could get the sludge monster back. As he sees that the sludge monster has a hostage. As he sees that the hostage is Bakugo. As then, he immediately knew what he had to do. Without even thinking, Izuku ran in and covered his knuckles with armament. As he ran in and punched the sludge monster straight in the eyes. As the sludge monster blew back, Bakugo got out of the sludge monster and saw that it's Izuku. But before Bakugo could even react, Izuku ran in and hugged Bakugo, telling him that he's very sorry for whatever he did. As Bakugo was confused what was going on, then he realizes that it's Izuku, as he pushes Izuku off, calling him a monster and not to come near him, as everyone was confused what was going on. But then, Bakugo threw an explosion at Izuku, but Izuku didn't even react, not wanting to do anything and take the explosion full on, because he knew that this is his punishment and he didn't want to hurt anyone else. But before the explosion could make any contact, All Might rushed in and said, "I'm here," as he grabbed Bakugo's hand before it could hit Izuku, as Izuku was confused what was going on. Okay guys, I hope you guys really like that what ifs, because this is a tribute to season 4 of Attack on Titan, and I don't know if I did good because I feel like I rushed it. But don't forget to subscribe, share, and the regular stuff. And big shout out to Sasuke Uchiha. He's a new what iffer and he wanted a shout out, and I think his channel's pretty good, so go check out his channel. And now let's talk about the Discord. What I repeated in the beginning, just listen to that, guys. You guys are good, but just don't say anything offensive. Just be nice to each other. There's no need to be all aggressive and stuff and say some weird stuff like the person that did that today. So other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys later. Yo everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. And if you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to, click that red button right there. And the regular stuff and stuff like that, share, like, and that. And if you guys haven't checked out my Discord, go do that as well. Just click that link down there, and you guys can come to my Discord and start chatting with me. That's where I mainly start chatting with people. And other than that, guys, let's get straight into the intro. Okay, guys, let's not waste any more time and let's jump straight into the what if. So we start off with Deku standing on the other side of Bakugo, as All Might's holding Bakugo's hand, as Bakugo was about to explode Izuku's face. As all of a sudden, as Izuku was about to start talking, a voice in Izuku's head started to tell him to kill Bakugo, to kill All Might, to kill everyone there, to start killing, to make everyone suffer for what they did. As Izuku started yelling no, 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 as immediately as Izuku turned into a titan, as Izuku crouched to the ground holding his ears as a titan. But Izuku in his mind was still suffering as the voice got louder and louder, as Izuku thought to himself, telling himself that he'll never become a villain. Then Izuku closes his eyes as a titan as he escapes into his mindscape. As Izuku opens his eyes in his mindscape, he sees himself, but an older version of him. As Izuku looked at it in his eyes, he saw that that person had no hope, as that person's eyes looked dead. As Izuku asked who he was, as the person just continued saying the same words, telling him that he should kill everyone there, he should kill Bakugo, he should kill All Might. As Izuku said no, he won't kill anyone there, and that he'll never become a villain. As that person laughed and told Izuku that his destiny is to become a villain, and that the only way to save everyone is to become a villain. As Izuku said no, he'll save everyone with his own ideologies, and he'll save everyone becoming a hero. As that person laughed, telling Izuku that there's no way that's gonna happen. As Izuku gets frustrated, he rushes at that person and throws a punch. But then, the older Izuku just dodges his younger Izuku's attack and told Izuku that he's inferior to him. He's the weakest link out of all of them. He's the weakest out of all the Titans. As Izuku wondered what this man is talking about. As the older Izuku continued talking, telling Izuku that there's no way that Izuku will become a hero, and that his destiny will make him a villain. As Izuku fell to the ground and started crying, telling himself that he doesn't want to become a villain, he wants to save people. As Izuku starts repeating this over and over again. But then, all of a sudden, Izuku's mind just blacks out. As we switch to the real world, All Might actually punched Izuku many times to knock him out, so Izuku doesn't rampage anymore, as he was actually leaning on buildings and was falling over in this small alleyway. So All Might had to punch Izuku to make him knocked out. As Izuku transformed back into his regular human form, Bakugo was about to rush at him, but All Might stopped him. When Izuku woke up, immediately Izuku's eyes grew green and he got a vision. A vision of him standing next to All For One and helping him kill All Might. As he started to kill All Might, as he sees himself picking up All Might and eating him. As Izuku's horrified as he starts crying. As All Might walks up next to him and asks Izuku what was going on. As Izuku turns his head and sees All Might smile. As Izuku gets a glimmer of hope and tells himself that if he knows anything, he'll change the future in any way that he possibly can, and that he won't let All Might die to his hands. As Izuku turns his head and looks at All Might with tears in his eyes as he smiles at All Might. As All Might wondered what happened to Izuku, as he's not sure what Izuku's sad about, as it was just an accident. As Izuku started apologizing to everyone, telling them that he accidentally used his quirk, as the crowd around him and Bakugo wondered why Izuku used this quirk at that moment. As Izuku kept on walking home, as he left the area, All Might interjects and asks Izuku if he's alright, as he said he felt like he was unstable at that moment. As Izuku started to explain to All Might that he was fine and nothing happened to him. As All Might just looked at Izuku and said that he's lying to him. As Izuku sighs and asks All Might if he can trust him. As All Might nods his head, telling Izuku that Izuku can trust him and that he won't be telling anyone. As Izuku starts explaining everything to All Might. As All Might starts laughing, telling Izuku that his sidekick back in the day also had a similar ability, just like Izuku. And tells Izuku that they can change the future if they work together. As Izuku's confused what All Might means. Then All Might laughs, telling Izuku that he wants to pass on his powers to him, as Izuku inspired him, trying to become a hero all the time and trying his hardest not to become a villain. That's a true meaning of a hero, as he ran in to save Bakugo no matter the consequences. As All Might said, this is the true quality of a hero, and he wants to pass on his power to Izuku. As Izuku started crying, as Izuku just fell to the ground, as he didn't know if he was worthy to inherit All Might's power. That's right, I'm giving Izuku one for all, but don't worry, it's for a good reason, and the story is still gonna be good. Don't think that he's gonna be too overpowered. Yes, he's gonna be overpowered, but not too much. Okay, so let's just continue on with the story now. As Izuku is still crying, he looks up at All Might and tells All Might that he would be honored to be All Might's successor. As All Might starts laughing, telling Izuku to stop crying. As Izuku wipes off his tears and smiles at All Might. As Izuku wakes up the next morning, he remembers All Might telling him to meet him at an abandoned beach. Izuku not wanting to be late, he immediately got ready and started running toward the beach. As Izuku got there, he saw that All Might was already there waiting for him. As Izuku apologized for being late, as All Might told him that he also just got there. Then All Might started to tell Izuku that he looks ready to inherit One for All, as he pulled out a strand of hair and told Izuku to eat it. As Izuku looked at the strand of hair, he remembered the time when he said that he'd be honored to be All Might's successor. As Izuku thinks of himself, thinking that he was so stupid for saying that. As he looks at the hair, All Might starts to explain, telling Izuku that he needs a piece of his DNA to completely inherit his power. As Izuku just picks up the strand of hair and puts it in his mouth, as he chews on it and swallows it. But as immediately as he swallows it, a vision appears. A vision of him helping All Might fight All for One. As Izuku relieves a sigh of relief, thinking that this is his path in becoming a hero. After a few hours pass, All Might tells Izuku that it's probably time that they try One for All out. As Izuku uses One for All in one part of his body and punches the mid-air. As Izuku feels a bit of backlash, but not as much, as the pain dissipates over time. As Izuku is using One for All, since after for a few months, Izuku's been able to train with All Might properly, so he's able to use One for All more efficiently. As All Might told Izuku that he should be using One for All flowing through his body, everywhere in his body, as Izuku uses full cowling for the first time. As Izuku's learning how to use One for All, Izuku also sees a glimpse of all these different Titan forms, as Izuku wonders if he can use them. As Izuku turns into his regular attack Titan, he uses One for All in it, as he turns into the Armor Titan, as Izuku's wondering what's going on. As Izuku turns back to his human form, he asks All Might what was that, as All Might tells Izuku that One for All evolves the user's quirk when they get it. So Izuku's quirk must have evolved for him to get different Titan forms, as Izuku smiles, realizing that he can become a hero with this new power. For the next few months, Izuku's been able to use another 3 Titan forms: his regular attack Titan, the Armor Titan, and the Warhammer Titan. I know I went straight to the Warhammer Titan, but I want him to have it because it's pretty cool, okay? That's my favorite Titan, so I'm gonna give it to him. As Izuku meets up with All Might on the day of the entrance exams, as All Might started to explain to Izuku and started giving him some tips on the entrance exams. As Izuku told All Might that he needed to leave because the UA exam was about in 2 hours. As All Might said goodbye, and so did Izuku. As Izuku got to the UA gates, he walked into the gates and he was about to trip, but he stopped himself, as Uraraka didn't need to do anything this time. But Bakugo sees Izuku, as Bakugo's actually very angry at Izuku, but as he sees Izuku, entering UA gates as he's about to take the entrance exams. As Bakugo gets angry, as he doesn't want to go to the same school as Izuku, as he thinks that Izuku is still a huge monster. as Bakugo thinks to himself, thinking that Izuku has a pretty good chance in going to UA, as Bakugo doesn't want to go to UA if Izuku does. But Bakugo thinks to himself, thinking that if he wants to become a hero, he's going to have to go to UA, and there's no choice if Izuku goes to UA or not. As Bakugo stops himself from attacking Izuku, as he calmly walks away from Izuku as he enters the building. As everyone starts to take the written portion of the exam, as Izuku does the same just like in canon, as he's just like his smart personality, and he's been taught by the UA teachers. So I would say that Izuku gets about the same score just like in the exam, maybe a bit higher but not too much. As Izuku gets to the orientation room where President Mike starts to explain the robot situation, where he starts to explain the 3-pointer, the 2-pointer, and the 1-pointer. Then he tells everyone about the 0-pointer. As everyone thinks that the 0-pointer is gonna be weak since it costs 0 points. As everyone gets ready, as they get to the exam center, as they all start stretching and getting ready. As Izuku sees Bakugo, he wanted to talk to him as he was going to walk up to him. But then, Ida stops him, telling him to not disturb other students. As Izuku doesn't say anything and just walks back. But then, all of a sudden, the gates open as President Mike yells, "Go, go, go!" As everyone starts rushing in, as Izuku decides just to use one for all for the time being, as he starts, defeating many robots. As Bakugo gets annoyed by this and he gets frustrated, as he starts leaping from robot to robot, not giving a crap in how many points that they are. As Izuku starts defeating more robots as well. As Izuku is defeating robots, all of a sudden, Izuku hears a loud thump as he sees the 0-pointer. As everyone's running back, either scared or not even giving a crap in how many points the 0-pointers are. As they're running back, Izuku sees a girl screaming for help. As Izuku decides that this would be another redemption for him. As Izuku uses his Titan form as he turns into the Warhammer Titan. As he uses his Titan and uses one for all. As he pulls back his hammer and smashes the 0-point robot straight in the head, as he crushes the 0-point robot into tiny pieces. As Izuku used his hands to pick up all the rubble, and he picked up Uraraka in his giant hands. As Uraraka thanked Izuku, Izuku just nodded his head and put Uraraka back on the ground, as he turned back to his regular self. Hey guys, I think this is where I'm gonna end the video off for now. If you guys liked it, and if you guys want another part to what if Deku was a Titan shifter, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Even though that this part was kind of rushed, I hope you guys still like it. And let's talk about the Discord, guys. Still be nice to each other. I've had people being mean in the Discord server. My only rule in that server is to be nice. So I just want to repeat that again. Just be nice to each other. And other than that, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys later. Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's having an amazing day. And this is kind of an unexpected upload because I wasn't gonna upload today. I was gonna take a few breaks, but I felt bored, so I'm gonna upload today. And by the way, if you guys haven't checked out my collabs, go check them out, bro. It's my first Dragon Ball What If, so it's a lot of pressure. So it's me and Wavy Oceans did it. So if you guys haven't checked out his channel, and if you haven't checked out the collab, go definitely check out the collab, okay? It's an amazing collab, and it's an amazing What If. So please go check out the collab, and I also have a few more collabs coming up, but that's for later. So let's not waste any more time, and let's get straight into the intro. Okay guys, let's just jump straight into it. So we're gonna start off where we left off. Let's do a tiny recap here. So we start off with Deku just turning into the Warhammer Titan as he lifts up his hammer and smashes it on the 0-point robot, as the 0-point robot is crushed like a tin can. As Izuku climbs out of the the Warhammer's husk, he lands on the ground as everyone is just amazed at Izuku's strength, as everyone wonders what Izuku's quirk is. As everyone's leaving home, as President Mike told everyone that the exam is over, as they see that Izuku's going a different way than everyone else, as everyone is just wondering what's going on. When Izuku got home, he sees his mom waiting for him in the living room, as she asks Izuku how he did on the exam. Izuku responds by saying that he thinks that he passed. Then Izuku's mom immediately rushes at Izuku as she hugs him. As Izuku starts laughing, asking his mom what was going on. Izuku's mom responds by saying that she's so proud of him and thanks Izuku for being her son. As Izuku starts laughing, not knowing why his mom was saying this. As Izuku goes to his room, he thinks of the thoughts that Bakugo said. As Izuku slaps his face, telling himself that he doesn't need any more distractions, as Izuku falls asleep. As Izuku all of a sudden wakes up, he was confused what was going on. Then he sees this small tree in the middle of all this sand. Izuku's wondering what's going on, as he starts yelling, seeing if there's anyone else here. Then he starts looking around as he touches the tree. Then he immediately gets an urge to build something. As Izuku starts building the biggest, the tallest Titan that he could ever think of. As Izuku builds the Colossal Titan. When Izuku wakes up that morning, he feels a weird feeling. A feeling like he could turn into that Titan that he built in his dream. As Izuku shakes his head, confused what was going on. But then, all of a sudden, the doorbell rings. As Izuku rushes toward the door, he sees that it's All Might as he opens the door, as All Might is about to tell Izuku that he's about to deliver his letter personally. As All Might is about to hand Izuku the letter, he takes away the letter, telling Izuku that he might as well tell Izuku his points. As Izuku is eager to hear what All Might's gonna tell him. As All Might starts talking, telling Izuku that he got around 125 villain points, but there was also another point-based system, the rescue points. It depends on how many people save others, as Izuku is just wondering how many he got. As All Might tells Izuku that he got around 80 rescue points, as Izuku has saved many people and also has gotten more points than anyone else there. As Izuku's just surprised, All Might tells Izuku that this surpasses him times a lot, as All Might tells Izuku that he'll become a fine hero one day. As Izuku shrugs his shoulders, telling All Might that it's probably because of all the training that Yue gave him when he was a kid. As All Might touches Izuku's shoulders, telling him that he shouldn't doubt himself and to always look toward the future. As Izuku leaves, telling All Might that he will. But then, as All Might was leaving, he remembers that he forgot to tell Izuku something. As he goes back to Izuku's house and knocks on his door. As Izuku opens the door, All Might explains to Izuku, telling him that he's gonna be a teacher at UA. As Izuku gets excited, he asks All Might many questions. As All Might answers them, Izuku goes to his room that same day and cannot wait till the first day of UA. As the first day arrives, Izuku puts on his school outfit and walks out the door. As his mom says goodbye, as Izuku waves goodbye as well. Then Izuku walks straight into the building because, he lives like right next to UA. As he enters the building and starts looking for the classroom 1A. When Izuku gets there, he always wondered why UA makes the door so big. As he touches the door handle as he opens it. Then, all of a sudden, Izuku sees Kachan. As he's getting yelled by Ida, Izuku remembers when Kachan told him that he never wants to see him again and that he's a monster. As Izuku was about to leave, all of a sudden, Ida appears out of nowhere and starts apologizing to Izuku, telling him that he shouldn't have been so rude and that he's actually a superior student. As Izuku started to blush, telling him that he wasn't. But then, out of nowhere as well, Uraraka comes in and starts thanking Izuku for saving her. As Izuku just says that it's alright and that to not mention it. As Uraraka blushes as well. But then, everyone else notices Izuku, as they rush at Izuku and start crowding him. As they ask Izuku many questions, like, how did he get so good, or what's his quirk? As Izuku tries to answer them, telling him that his quirk is called Titan Shifter, and that he can grow into a big, monster-like human form. As Bakugo snarls, thinking to himself that Izuku is a monster. As Izuku just hears this and doesn't say anything. As everyone just looks at Bakugo, wondering why Bakugo said that. As Izuku started tearing up, Bakugo starts to tell everyone what Izuku did. But everyone didn't say anything for a while. But then everyone starts to tell Izuku that it's fine and that it was just his quirk manifesting and that it's not his fault. As everyone starts to tell Izuku that it's good that Izuku's gonna try to become a hero because this means that he can redeem himself. As Izuku wipes away the tears, thanking everyone. But then all of a sudden, a tiny caterpillar-like object starts wiggling through the classroom as everyone's wondering what's going on. But then Aizawa pops his head out, telling everyone to sit down, and tells Izuku to stop the waterworks. As Izuku wipes away his tears, he goes and sits down just like everyone else. As all of a sudden, Aizawa tells everyone that he expects a lot from them. Since they're students of UA, he's gonna expect them to do a lot, and that they're gonna become the top heroes when he's done with them. As everyone is just afraid what Aizawa is gonna do. As Aizawa pulls out gym outfits from his sleeping bag, as Momo worries if those things are hygienic. As he tells everyone to put these on and to meet him outside. As everyone goes to the locker room and starts putting it on. As everyone sees that Izuku is completely shredded. As Izuku just responds by saying that he trained a lot. As they ask where Izuku trained, as Izuku just pointed to the ground, telling everyone that he actually trained at UA, and that some of the teachers actually trained him. As everyone is just amazed, he tells everyone else that he's actually never been trained by Aizawa at all, and that he's actually never met Aizawa, and that he's probably seen him around that UA campus, but he hasn't actually talked to him. As everyone goes outside, they see Aizawa waiting for them. As they see Aizawa holding a ball, as everyone's confused. As everyone lines up, he throws Izuku a ball, telling Izuku to throw it as hard as he can, with using his quirk. As everyone's confused, Izuku just smirks a bit, as he uses his Titan powers, and one for all. As Aizawa is just confused because this wasn't part of Izuku's quirk. As he immediately chucks it into the air, as a gust of wind blows everyone back, as everyone is just confused at how Izuku got so powerful. As the ball keeps on going higher and higher and higher, as it got all the way to space. Yup, I'm making Izuku this powerful. And I wanted to explain Izuku's personality a bit. When Izuku's in a tough spot or he needs to do something, his personality completely changes. He becomes a bit more powerful, and he gets more confidence. But when he's in a vulnerable state and he's self-conscious of himself, he's super shy. So that's how I'm gonna make Izuku's personality. So it's gonna be self-conscious, but he's also confident in himself, kind of. So it's gonna be an alter ego, if you know what I'm talking about. So let's not waste any more time and let's just continue with the story. As Bakugo sees this, he's just furious. He wants to punch Izuku or throw an explosion at him, but he can't. He knows that he wants to surpass Izuku so he can always defeat him. As Aizawa sees Bakugo scowling at Izuku, he calls over Bakugo, telling him that it's probably his turn to throw the ball, as he tosses the ball toward Bakugo. As Bakugo smirks widely, his face is one side of his face and one side of his face is a complete smile. As Bakugo holds the ball, as a flurry of explosions happen, as immediately as the ball thrusts up into the air, as almost the same gust of wind happens, as everyone's almost blown back. But then, Bakugo's ball is actually slightly under Izuku's. As everyone is just whoa, Izuku still beat Bakugo? As everyone is just astonished at Bakugo's and Izuku's strength. Okay guys, this is where I'm going to be ending off the video for now. If you guys like the video, and if you guys want a second part, and if you guys want to know what Bakugo and Izuku and basically the rest of the story goes, don't forget to like, comment, and share, the regular stuff. And if you want to support the channel somehow, don't forget to join the Discord. That's where you guys can support me, or basically give me what if comments. And I'm sorry for stuttering and stuff. I wasn't even planning on posting a what if today. So actually, I have one more thing to say. Don't forget to check out the collab that I did with Wavy. Please go check that out. I'll actually even post it in the description, so you guys can go check that out. And other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys later. Yo, welcome back everybody. I hope everyone's having an amazing day, and this is What If Deku Was a Titan Shifter Part 4. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this, and so have I. And because I'm going to be focusing on what if Deku had sun breathing, and what if Deku was a Titan Shifter. This is probably what I'm going to be focusing on, and probably tomorrow or on Friday, What If Deku Was a Sun Breather Part 4 should be coming out, so don't worry about that, because I'm probably going to be focusing on these what ifs. But I'm also going to be doing a collab, so please wait up for that, and it's going to be an hour-long thing, so you guys better be waiting for that. And I have one more thing to say. If you guys have any suggestions for Naruto what ifs or Dragon Ball what ifs, please don't be ashamed, or don't just tell me, because I don't want to just do what if like Deku. I want to do some what if Naruto's, what if Dragon Ball what ifs. I want to do some stuff like that. So if you guys have any suggestions, please don't forget to put that down in the comments. And other than that, let's get straight into the intro. Okay guys, let's not waste any more time and let's get straight into this what if. So last time where we left off, whereas Bakugo threw the ball and slightly was under Deku's score as he's angry, as Deku just wonders what Bakugo's thinking of himself. Then everyone gets the same score, just like in canon, as everyone does pretty similar, except for Bakugo and Izuku, since they get second place and first place, as Izuku gets first place and Bakugo gets second. And Uraraka still gets infinity on the ball throw, if you were wondering. And no one's gonna be getting expelled, so for all the people who want Mineta to not be in this story, sorry about it, but Mineta's gonna be in the story. Okay, so let's just pick off where we left off, when Aizawa told everyone that everyone passed and no one's getting expelled, as everyone sighs as they're relieved that no one's gonna get expelled, especially Mineta, because he got the last score on the ball throw and basically everything there. When Aizawa walked away, he sees All Might. He stops right next to him and asks All Might how Izuku was able to get such power, as All Might didn't know how to answer this, not wanting to reveal the secret of One for All. So he told Aizawa that he was unable to tell him right now, but he'll tell him soon, as Aizawa nods and walks away. But Aizawa is still very curious. The next day comes by as All Might walks in through the door, yelling, "I'm here," as everyone sees him over dramatically walking through the door. But still, everyone is very excited seeing All Might. Then All Might pulls out a crate telling everyone that their hero costumes are there, and telling everyone that they should meet him outside. Then everyone puts on their hero costumes and meet All Might outside. When they get there, All Might sees everyone's hero costume and applauds them, telling everyone that they look like real heroes right now. Then he looks at Izuku and applauds him more, as his hero costume uses some skin graphiting, so whenever he grows giant, he's always gonna have his hero costume on, as everyone is amazed at Izuku's hero costume. After All Might's done ranting about his hero costume and everyone else's hero costume, he starts to explain to everyone about the hero versus villain training. Then everyone gets excited for this new training that they're gonna be doing, as All Might spins the wheel and Izuku sees that he's with Uraraka, and that the villains that he needs to fight are Bakugo and Ida. As Izuku hears the name Bakugo, he feels unconcerned. He feels so concerned about this. He doesn't know if he can do it, as All Might calls over Izuku, telling him that he shouldn't be holding himself back just because it's Bakugo, and that he should show Bakugo that he's grown and that he can control himself, as Izuku nods, wanting to show Bakugo that he's able to control himself and that he's not a villain. As everyone gets ready, we switch to Bakugo's perspective, as Bakugo is so angry, as he feels like this is the perfect time to attack Izuku and finally eliminate him, as Izuku knows that Bakugo's gonna be coming to him, as he tells Uraraka that she should head up without letting Bakugo or Ida notice them, and that he's gonna be dealing with Bakugo because he knows that Bakugo's probably gonna be coming and attacking him. As the round starts, Bakugo immediately heads down to fight Izuku, as Izuku's just standing there waiting for Bakugo. But when Bakugo gets there, he sees Izuku standing, waiting for him, as Bakugo yells at Izuku, telling him that he's a villain and that it's his job to eliminate him. But when All Might hears this, he's concerned what Bakugo's gonna be doing. But then Izuku yells that Bakugo's wrong, and that he's trying his hardest to become a hero, and the incident that happened when they were kids was not his fault, as Bakugo laughs, telling Izuku that it was all his fault. Then Izuku remembers when he turned into a titan and broke Bakugo's legs and was about to eat him. Then Izuku was about to fall into tears, but he shook himself up and snapped back, as he shook his head and told Bakugo that he's wrong. At first, he thought it was his fault and that this quirk was a curse, but He sees that it's actually a blessing in disguise, as he'll be able to save as many people as possible, as he's not gonna become a villain. Then Bakugo laughs, telling Izuku that he'll never become a hero, and that the thing that he did to him all those years ago caused him so much pain and grief, and that he's never gonna forgive him in any of his lifetimes. Then Bakugo immediately rushed at Izuku and throws an explosion at Izuku's face. As the smoke cleared, Bakugo can see that Izuku's whole hand is covered in crystallization, as his whole face was unscathed. As Bakugo snarls, Izuku starts throwing punches with his crystallization armor. Then Bakugo gets angry, telling Izuku to show everyone his true self, his ravenous self, the one that almost killed him. Then Izuku yelled no, as he turned on One for All full cowling around 20% and immediately blitzed Bakugo, as Bakugo was immediately pinned down. Bakugo was just confused in what was going on, as Izuku was still above him. As Bakugo gets angry, he starts putting explosions in the palm of his hands as it blows Izuku back. As Izuku gets up, he sees a grenade gauntlet straight in his face. As Izuku not knowing what to do, Bakugo tells Izuku that this is the final time that he's gonna see him, as he pulls the grenade pin. But before anything else could happen, Izuku immediately bites his thumb, turning into a titan, as he destroys the whole building. As he sees that the nuke is like right there, as he puts his hands on it as he grabs it. Then All Might yells that the exam is over and that the heroes win, as All Might asks who the MVP of this match is. Momo raises her hands, excited to answer this. She answers by telling All Might that actually Uraraka is probably the MVP, since she didn't cause much of a ruckus to, hurt other civilians, unlike Bakugo and Izuku, who created so much rubble. And since Izuku turned into a titan in the building, he probably could have destroyed the whole place. After Momo's done explaining, All Might is in awe in how Momo was able to figure that out so quickly, and is just wondering how smart Momo really is. After everyone's done doing their training, everyone's training is pretty much the same, as everyone gets the same scores. When everyone's leaving that day, Izuku walks home with Uraraka and Ida. When they're walking home, Izuku asks Uraraka and Ida if he was acting really reckless that day. Uraraka responds by saying that it's not Izuku's fault and that Bakugo was aggravating him, as Ida agrees with Uraraka, as Izuku feels a bit better about himself. As the next day arrives, Aizawa explains to everyone, telling them that they're gonna be going on a field trip to the USJ. Everyone gets excited and puts on their hero costumes and get on the bus. When they get on the bus, Kaminari starts to explain in how flashy everyone else's quirk is and how flashy his isn't, and that he wishes that he had another quirk, and points out Izuku, telling everyone that Izuku's quirk is probably the flashiest out of all of them. Izuku didn't know how to respond to this, as he didn't know if he's supposed to praise himself or thank someone, as all of a sudden the bus stops as everyone sees the USJ. As they were about to walk in, all of a sudden Izuku gets a vision. Izuku sees himself in a dark place with his villain self, as his villain self starts chuckling, telling Izuku that the future can change, and there's always ways that things might change, and that he should always be ready. As Izuku's just confused what his villain self is talking about, as his villain self tells Izuku that he'll be leaving now. As Izuku starts to reach out for his villain self, but all of a sudden Izuku sees himself back, walking inside the USJ. As 13 started to explain what this place is, telling everyone that this is basically disaster zones where people can come and train here, and simulations of these disaster zones. As everyone's learning about it, Izuku walks up to Aizawa and tells Aizawa that he has a bad feeling and that he feels like everyone should go back. But all of a sudden, a huge portal appears, bigger than Izuku's regular Titan form. As all of a sudden, a huge... Okay guys, this is where I'm going to be ending off the video. If you guys like this video and you guys want a part 5, and also if you want to know what comes out of that huge portal in the USJ, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and everything that you guys can say. And other than that, don't forget to go check out my Discord, and I actually have something else to say right here. If any of you artists out there would like to make me a profile picture, I would be so grateful. You guys can contact me down in the Discord. I'll put a link to it. But there's also another way that you guys can contact me. I also have an Instagram that you guys can check out, but I'm not often on there. So if you guys DM me, I'll probably see it and I'll check it out. But any of you artists out there, I would be so grateful if you guys can make me a profile picture, because I feel like my profile picture is kind of generic. So if any of you guys would like to help me, please contact me and I'll give you guys the details. And I'm not gonna just give you guys this not giving you guys like a reward. I'm gonna either give you guys a shout out or some type of thing that I can help you guys with. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys later. Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope all of you guys are having an amazing day. And yeah, so this what if took me a while to complete, didn't it? Yeah. So we're gonna finish what if Deku was a Titan shifter. And is it just me, or did I predict kind of Eren in this series? Because I was watching these again, and I kind of noticed that I was kind of predicting Eren when you think about it, because I got evil Deku in here and basically Eren became evil. So I think I kind of predicted him. I'm saying kinda, so don't roast me in the comment section. You're like, no, you didn't, you dumbass. But other than that, let's just get started with the video. So, we start off this what if with Izuku and all of Class 1A in the USJ as they see a huge portal opening out of nowhere as a huge Nomu steps out and a whole bunch of villains step out as well. As Izuku's completely confused, seeing this huge Nomu and how it could be so big since he was the only one who had the powers to turn into a Titan. As he immediately rushes in, telling everyone to back him up since, he has to fight this Nomu since no one else could fight him unless it was All Might. As Izuku immediately bites his hand and transforms into the Titan. As Bakugo gets pissed seeing Deku fighting on his side. But Deku only has one thing on his mind, and that's to save everyone, no matter what it costs. As he immediately rushes in, turning into his attack Titan form. As he immediately rushes in and punches the Nomu, but nothing. The Nomu deflects Deku's punch and punches his back right in the jaw as Deku falls to the ground. With no more further hope, Izuku immediately charges up One For All in his hands in his attack Titan form and crystallizes it, as he immediately punches the Nomu back, and the Nomu finally looks like it's taking some damage, but not much, as the Nomu immediately starts pummeling Deku to the ground, as Deku dodges a hit and punches the Nomu back, kicking the Nomu off of him, and then going in and landing a bunch of kicks on the Nomu, as he's trying to fight the Nomu, but nothing severely is happening, since Deku isn't that powerful with One For All just yet, and his Titan form's not doing much damage to the Nomu either. As the Nomu punches Deku straight in the gut, landing a severe blow as Deku spits out blood from his Titan form. As he lands onto the ground, as he's looking for something that he can do, as he's thinking, he starts looking around and notices all of his other classmates struggling as well. As he sees Aizawa also struggling, seeing that he's fighting Shigaraki right now. As he almost melts off his elbow, but Aizawa being Aizawa defends himself and gets out of the situation. But as he's noticing the villains, he notices that the villains are pretty big, and it's abnormal for them to be this big, as he notices one of the villains with his crystallization power, as he's completely confused what's going on. As the Nomu keeps pummeling Deku to the ground, almost reaching his real body, but all of a sudden, All Might jumps through the window, punching the Nomu straight in the head. As the Nomu falls back, Deku gets back up again and climbs out of his husk of his Titan form and climbs down to see what exactly is going on, as he starts to use One For All to climb and look at what exactly and all the villains, as he notices some villains using the same power as him, as he's completely confused, as All Might looks at Deku, telling Deku that he'll take care of this huge Nomu since its durability is low since it's so big. as All Might tries to fight the Nomu, but nothing happens since, the Nomu's huge and he doesn't have that much, power to fight it. As Deku suggests that he fight the Nomu and that he tag team him whenever he needs him. As Deku and All Might start tag teaming the Nomu, but something unexpected happens. Shigaraki stops fighting Aizawa and immediately rushes over and disintegrates both the Nomu and Izuku's husk, as he gets caught by a portal and transported as he lands on the ground, wondering what just happened and where he is now. All of a sudden, Izuku lands on the ground as he starts looking around, wondering what's going on. All of a sudden, his heart starts thumping louder and louder as Deku immediately passes out. The next time he wakes up, he sees his body not as similar as he does, as he sees the vestiges behind him, as he's wondering what exactly is going on, as he sees his villainous self walk toward him. As Deku's wondering what exactly is going on, his villain self tells him that it's inevitable and that it's eventually gonna happen. As he tells Deku that he's not his villain self, but his future self, and that he knows what exactly is going to happen, as he starts to explain what exactly happened in the future, as he starts to tell Deku that the Quark Singularity Theory is going to destroy all of humanity, and if he doesn't take the advantage of this, Quarks will get too powerful and completely destroy the world, as humanity will be ceased to exist. As Deku's completely confused what this Deku's talking about, as all of a sudden, he gets transported back to the real world as he sees the Deku, the evil Deku, telling him to stand up. As the evil Deku standing behind him, guiding him through the whole thing. As he climbs up the stairs which it leads up to, he sees the man, the myth, the legend, John Cena. No, I'm just playing. As he walks up the stairs, he sees All For One sitting on his throne, smiling when Deku climbs up the stairs. As then, future Deku tells Izuku to kill him, as he stands behind him, looking at regular Izuku, as regular Izuku is just completely stunned at what this Deku is telling him to do, as he tells Izuku to stand up and kill him, or else he'll kill him before you. As all of a sudden, All For One immediately rushes down, telling Deku that he's gonna take his power completely now. He may have taken his power when he was a child, but now he's gonna completely take it and use it for his own. As he immediately rushes down and grabs Izuku by the forehead. But Izuku, who's still smiling and understands what he has to do, as he asks One For All to take his power. As all of a sudden, One For All smiles and starts to try to take Izuku's power, but he gets transported to the Vestige world as he sees giant titans roaming everywhere, as he sees fire and destruction, as he's wondering what's going on, as he sees almost every human dying, as he gets scared and starts falling to the ground, as he's completely confused, as Deku says that this is the end, and grabs One For All by the head and squeezes it and completely destroys his head, as Deku finally realizes what he has to do. Oh, future Dubnushi here, just wanted to say, All For One's head looks like a potato, and when Deku squeezes it, it turns into mashed potatoes, okay? So, don't mind this, this is original, this is part of the story, okay? Don't mind anything else I say, okay? It turns into mashed potatoes, okay? Other than that, let's just continue on with the story. As Izuku kicks, All For One's body down, as he ties his hair into a ponytail and starts to look like Eren Yeager. And then he goes to One For All's throne and sits on it as he's waiting for Shigaraki to return. As Shigaraki returns after his fight with Aizawa and All Might, he's very severely damaged, and as he returns, he notices that All For One is on the ground and he's dead. As he's wondering what exactly is going on, he notices Zuko sitting on his throne with his hair up, looking like Eren Yeager. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna be making these Eren Yeager jokes. I really don't care. Okay. So as he sees this, he's completely confused. As Izuku says that he's gonna be serving him now, as Shigaraki's completely confused what's going on and how he defeated All For One so easily. As Shigaraki, not knowing what to do and knowing that he's gonna die if he does anything, just replies to Deku, telling him that he's his new master now and that he'll listen to him. As Deku smiles, telling Shigaraki to gather as many villains as he possibly can. And for the next 5 years, Izuku grows his power, unlocking all the other titans in the succession. As he finally feels like he's ready, he calls for everyone, telling everyone that it's time. As he calls all the villains into one room, as he built the underworld as much as he possibly can, creating connections with many villains and many people as he possibly can as well. As he gathers everyone in one room and serves everyone a drink, as everyone's completely confused, as they're all drinking the drink, and they're wondering what exactly is going on. As Deku finally tells everyone that they served their purpose well, as everyone's completely confused, about to start a riot, as Deku turns into his Beast Titan form and yells, as everyone starts to turn into Titans, as the rumbling has begun. As Deku walks out of the building, as he steps outside, as he encounters Bakugo, as Bakugo says that he finally found him, as he tells Izuku that he finally thought Izuku change and can control his powers, but it seems like he can't, and he always knew that he was a monster. As Bakugo has been training his whole life from that day on forward so he can encounter Izuku and completely destroy him. As All Might's there as well, supporting Bakugo, telling Bakugo that he will help him as much as he possibly can, since Izuku lost his One for All power, and he actually gained All for One's power instead. As he tells Bakugo to fight him if he's actually a man, as Bakugo immediately rushes in, using powers equivalent to a nuclear blast, pinpointing it at Izuku. Izuku puts up a good fight, but Bakugo finally blows off Izuku's head. As Izuku's head is about to fall off, but a spine-type thing is holding Izuku's head together, as Izuku turns into the founding Titan. And you guys already know where this is going. He's basically Eren Yeager, so you just already know, okay? And so Izuku continues the rumbling as Bakugo tries to stop him, but he couldn't. As everyone tries to stop him, but no one has enough power to do anything. As 80% of the population gets destroyed. As 20% of the population that doesn't have a quirk have been sent a message to a safe spot that they can go to. And if they bring anyone with a quirk, they will completely be destroyed. They will kill all of humanity, and Deku will not care. As he sends this message out to all the quirkless people, as every quirkless person hears this, and basically 80% of the population dies, and Bakugo and basically all of Class 1A and basically all of the heroes try to save them, but they can't. As 20% of the population survives, and 80% of the population is dead. And that's where we're gonna be ending off the What If. I know all of you guys are like, that was kind of rushed. And I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty much rushed. Because I wasn't expecting this What If to go in this turn, and I wasn't expecting at all to complete this What If at all. But I couldn't just let it be there. And so I had to come up with, a random ending. But I hope this guy satisfied you because, I'm not spoiling anything in Attack on Titan. That's not what happened in Attack on Titan. If you think, like, a certain population died, that's totally not what happened, okay? I didn't spoil nothing. This is based off the anime, and this is how far the anime is. So if you haven't watched Attack on Titan, go watch it. I mean, if you haven't, I don't know what you're doing, but still go watch it. I mean, it's good. But other than that, don't forget to join the Discord. Don't forget to sub, like, and this is more of a gag What If, so please like. I mean, I wasn't serious. I'm sorry. There's a bunch of jokes in here. But other than that, guys, I guess I'll see you guys later.